Welcome to the Bold SLP podcast. We are so happy that you're here and can't wait to share with you all of the amazing conversations we've been having.
We are the co-founders of the Bold SLP Collective, and we are also your hosts, Lisa, Desi, and myself, Ingrid. Each of us has a variety of experiences in all things bilingual and bimodal speech-language pathology. You'll get to know us pretty well on here.
We started this podcast to share our lived experiences, but also because we want to bring advocacy and cultural humility to the forefront of every speech therapy conversation. We hope that you'll join us each week, and we hope that you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to our first ever episode, you guys. I can't believe that I'm saying that. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Ingrid. I am a bilingual speech-language pathologist, and I'm here with my friends Desi and Lisa. They are also bilingual SLPs like me. We came together over the last year on Instagram. Everywhere we go, usually in our careers, we are the only bilingual SLP. And so this last year was really important to us because we found each other. We found other bilingual SLPs in the field that are out there and are like-minded. And so we decided to come together and share with you guys what we've been going through, what conversations we've been having. So I'm really excited for this project and for this launch. Today, I just want to introduce to you the co-founders of the Bold SLP Collective. And then Desi and Lisa are going to talk a little bit about what we are all about and what we want moving forward with this project. So I'm going to start really quick introducing our co-founders. Lisa is one of our co-founders. She is so impressive, you guys. She is second generation Canadian Sri Lankan. She is a mom, a wife, choir singer, a member of the Montreal Steppers. She also juggles a lot with work. She is a school-based SLP, and she also is at McGill University and running her own practice. So lots of stuff going on with Lisa. We're so lucky to have her on the team. Desi is equally impressive. She is Cuban American. She is a wife and a mom, and she also runs her own business. She has experience in home health and in schools and teletherapy, and she's always advocating in her community locally and with us on Instagram for multicultural and linguistic diversity. I am so happy to be among this group of awesome people. Like I said, my name is Ingrid. I am Mexican American. I'm first generation. I'm a Spanish bilingual SLP. I've been an SLP for almost 10 years now. And my focus has always been on linguistic diversity and also, fighting linguistic oppression. I have worked in early intervention and in the schools, mostly K through 5, but being bilingual and being the only one around, I tend to work with preschool a lot as well. I have some med SLP experience. I was with adults in a SNF at the beginning of my career, but I have focused more on school-based and pediatrics. So that's a little bit about me. I just wanted you guys to get to know us a little bit. There will be upcoming episodes that are each focused on one of us. We wanted you guys to know who you're listening to and who we are and what we're all about and where we're coming from, because we bring our experiences with us everywhere we go, this podcast included. I will let Desi take it away. She's going to talk a little bit about how we came together and how this whole idea started. It started with her. She'll be humble and say it didn't, but it did. So, Desi, how did this all come about?
So, thinking back, I was trying to remember exactly what it was. Like all things, sometimes they don't come from the most hopeful of places. I think I had been having some frustrations with some situations that I was experiencing here in my work settings. And, in having the Clubhouse app, having that club there where we have discussed a lot of issues relating to bilingual evaluation and service delivery, it really hit me that there's still such a gap, even having a Clubhouse or having private messages just wasn't really making the cut in terms of having productive conversations, really bringing forward the issues that we're experiencing as a subset of speech pathologists. So I thought that having a podcast where we were able to engage with guests, engage with people within this small community, and really tackle these subjects head on and come up with strategies for advocacy for ourselves and for our clients, I thought it would be a wonderful space to create and to really foster real connections with other speech pathologists across the world even. So that's where that came from. And we do have a lot of varied interests. And so I'm going to kick it over to Lisa. And she was going to talk about what topics we're hoping to explore on this podcast.
Thanks, Desi. Woo, I'm so excited to be here. So very quickly, I reached out to Ingrid during COVID because I just felt so isolated. And I'm thinking of what Desi just said about this place of desperation. So I was really faced with a lot of microaggressions, a lot of unconscious bias. And it was just, there was no one to talk about it with. So I was very excited at the idea of this podcast because there's so many things that we have to talk about, like equity, linguistic diversity, social justice, cultural humanity, identity, dialects. Really, actually, if any of you out there listening are interested in these topics and want to help us strategize and come on and be interviewed by us, that would be really amazing because we can all learn together and make positive change together. But yeah, that's what we hope to accomplish with this. And it started on Instagram. It went through Clubhouse. It's here now. So I'm really excited about it.
I know. I am so thrilled because we've had all these awesome conversations on Clubhouse. And I get so many messages from people who want to make it, try to make it. And they're like, can I get the transcript? Can I get a recording? And it's like, no, I can't do that. I try my best to recap and summarize and share what we talked about, but it's not the same as being there. And it's not the same as on this platform where we can record and keep a record of what we talked about and listen again and see what the conversation was all about. So I'm really, really excited for that because I feel like our conversations have been amazing and I want to keep Clubhouse going. It's turning into a really safe place for all of us to share what we go through on a day-to-day basis. But I am finding that it's a lot of us already there are bilingual SLPs. A lot of us are already Spanish-speaking SLPs, and we're not getting these messages out to SLPs who are not bilingual. And that would be kind of like my number one with doing this podcast, get the conversation going and started with SLPs who are not bilingual because they are serving our students out there, our clients out there, patients out there. And I would love for them to be a part of these conversations too.
Absolutely.
And Desi, she put it so professionally how this whole thing got started. But it was literally a text message when she said, we need to do something. Can you talk? And that's how this whole...
It makes it sound so business-like. Yeah. I mean, I think that it definitely stems from the fact that there's just not enough conversation. It's not enough to just say cultural and linguistic diversity and put it in a box. No, it really, it is the box. We all live in this world where we all have differences in culture, differences in language. And I hope that this podcast is a place where we can really embrace that diversity and make people who come onto this podcast feel embraced by, what we hope to extend to everyone else. So I don't know if that made sense, but we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, it totally does.
I'm so glad you brought it up. It's amazing. We have a post coming up on that where you said linguistic diversity is not the bow, it's the entire box. Like you can't just put a cute little bow of diversity on every topic.
and call it good. That's an awesome sentiment, Desi.
It was so powerful to talk to other bilingual SLPs who are like going through the exact same thing and just searching for answers, searching for articles, research, anything, but they were all written by monolingual SLPs. And so a lot of the things that we're finding aren't really helping us with the clients that we're trying to service. So yeah, I remember talking to Ingrid and Desi, like everything I said was resonating with both of you immediately, which is not what I was feeling usually. So that's my hope for this podcast too, that people see themselves in the conversations that we're talking about.
Yes. And if you're wondering why we didn't introduce ourselves extensively, it's because we are having episode 2, 3, and 4 coming right up, and it's all about us. So one episode about each of us. But I wanted to say, Lisa, it was extraordinary to me when we were able to Zoom that first meeting we ever had, how, Lisa, you were living my life, but in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this happening over there too? So I love that you reached out. I love that we were able to connect. And Desi, I love that you've been a part of Clubhouse and Bilingual SLP Club from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to know you guys.
Ditto. And yeah, and doesn't that speak to the urgency too, right? That we all find ourselves in similar situations, even though we live so far apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
But Ingrid, you saying that I was living your life, I had spoken to dozens of SLPs before you, and none of them had any idea of what I was talking about.
Right.
And I was always met with, oh, that's so interesting, or I'm sorry to hear that. And then I spoke to you, who was like, yep, that's very common. Yeah, that happens to all of us. And then you invited me to Clubhouse, where I met Desi, who all of you experienced Desi. I was like, I feel seen.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think that that's, again, like, I think that I hope that we can make other people feel seen. That was the other thing that Ingrid and I had discussed in establishing a podcast such as this one, not centering the conversation on the same people that have always been centered in our field.
Yes.
And we needed to move it to a different place, include people of diverse backgrounds, include people of color, include Black people, include brown people. This is just not, this is not meant to be a space where we're just going to keep, the average SLP very happy. It might make people feel uncomfortable, but it might help other people feel seen. And that is really the goal here. We really want to help everyone grow.
Yeah, you have helped me grow so much in the last year. And I will have to get into it during my episode, but yeah, I learned so much from Desi and Lisa. I'm just like in awe that we're doing this. I love it so much.
Oh, it's so exciting.
So I'll talk a little bit about what the Bold SLP Collective is, if you guys want me to. It was really serendipitous how the name came about. Desi and I started a notes sharing on our phones, and we had started talking about possibility of fundraising or scholarship. We were looking at ways to help students coming in, and she had thought of something, and she said, I have a link, and I had 3 ideas on our notes. One of them was bold clinicians. I wasn't sure, should we do SLP, should we do bold clinicians, bold speech? I don't know why bold was speaking to me. I think because of the B in bilingual. And then Desi puts her link on there, and it was bold.org, the place that she was thinking about. That's a place where you can fundraise for good causes. And I was like, that's it, Desi. It is meant to be. We're going to be the Bold SLP Collective. And collective just means a group. We just kind of thought it had a good ring to it. We got the handle done, the email done, and just kind of started moving really fast. And we pumped the brakes a little bit after summer ended. But every time we pumped the brakes, there was another situation in our speech world that caused us to come together and be like, okay, we need to keep moving. We need to, listen to our own words and be bold and put it out there, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not ready, even if we're not complete, because we didn't feel complete, just the 2 of us. And so we're so glad to have Lisa on board. I don't know, anything else you want to add about how the Bold SLP Collective came about?
I think the nice thing about, why we chose the word collective is just the fact that, again, we really want to make people feel like they have a community. We really want to connect with people. So it's really rooted in that connectedness. And like you said, just adding Lisa on was so awesome in the sense that it felt like we really had established like some sort of, international, like cross-linguistic bind together. Like it's really awesome the way that we've come together to have this space, represent different backgrounds. And that's really what the collective means to me. So
I love that.
Yeah, I was sitting on the subway when I saw you two post about the Bold SLP Collective, and I was like, this is amazing. Look at these two go. And I was just so proud of you two, not realizing at all that I would have any, major part to play in it. And when you texted me saying, hey, can we talk? I had no idea that's what you were going to ask. I thought you were just going to tell me, hey, we started this thing, like you want to come out and support. And when you said you want to do the podcast and like, I can join you guys, I was like, are you joking? I totally look up to you too. Yes, absolutely.
I pulled a Desi and I was like, we need to talk.
It was the only right way to do it, Ingrid. It was the only right way.
Yeah, you knew I meant business, just like you did to me. I'm like, oh, Desi means business. She wants to talk.
Isn't it fun, though, that whenever we get any message from any Clubhouse SLPs or like one of you two, and it says we need to talk, there's never a fear that we're in trouble. No. It's always like, something's about to change. We're going to make a change.
Yep. Something is afoot and we need to assemble.
Get moving. Yeah. Make a plan.
Yeah. Mobilize.
I love the transparency. I feel that I've been living with like a lot of competitiveness in the field as opposed to transparency and sharing. So I love that with this. And I know that we're all going to be transparent about the truth about things that we've seen, things we want to change.
Mistakes we've made.
Oh, yeah.
All the mistakes.
That'll come up for sure. That'll come up.
Rough days we have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard days.
The drinks. Maybe you could edit that out.
No, remember the transparency.
Transparency. Yep. So I think, we'll just keep it rolling then. We'll roll out a new episode here in the next few days, introducing each of us.
Yeah.
But we are so excited. Hope you guys will join us.
Well, any last words about what we're doing, what we want to do? I'm just thrilled. I love everything you guys are about. I love that we're all moms, that we're all bilingual. Just, I don't know. You guys are awesome humans.
Thank you. So are you. I wondered if we could end each one maybe with like a key word or something that we're taking away from what we talked about. But for me, it would be transparency.
Oh, that's an awesome idea, Lisa.
Like a word of the day or like last words.
The last word.
The last word.
It doesn't even have to be like on theme. It could be like a silly joke or like something that we said
whatever,
just kind of sticking with you.
Home from this episode. I would say I'm going to take back from this episode connection. My last word is connection.
My last word. I'm gonna give a phrase. Sorry to be difficult, but
do it.
We're gonna get this show on the road. I'm pumped. So
okay, get this show on the road. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll close this out. Our first episode.
Thank you for listening and supporting the Bold SLP Collective. You can find a closed caption version of this podcast on our YouTube channel. We will also have show notes on our website. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd really appreciate it if you do all the podcast things. follow, subscribe, download, and review. And don't forget, we love hearing from you, so connect with us on Instagram at the Bold SLP Collective. Stay bold and humble. See you next time.